My name is Clara Downey. I'm the 2019 Distinguished Young Woman of Greater Easthampton, which is the oldest and largest scholarship program for high school girls in the United States. Thank you. It is my pleasure to welcome you all tonight to Mayor LaChapelle's 2019 State of the City Address. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all again for being here tonight, and please help me in welcoming Mayor Nicole LaChapelle.
Good evening, and welcome to my 2019 State of the City Address. I would like to acknowledge and thank some very special guests with us here tonight. To my family for their love and support, Auditor Suzanne Bump, a good friend and also always a strong example of leadership. Pat Carnevale joins us as the director of the governor's Western Massachusetts office, and he so effectively communicates Easthampton's need to the governor and lieutenant governor. Registrar of Probate, Mike Carey, is with us tonight, and I thank him for overseeing our probate systems throughout our county. Senator Humison, for always your candor and your help and returning my calls no matter what time of day it is. Sheriff Pat Kaelane for joining us and being a true partner for community-based rehabilitation. Representative Dan Carey, I will thank you for stepping up to state public service and look very much forward to working with you in that role. To my legislative partners on the Easthampton City Council, including those here tonight, Peg Conniff, Omar Gomez, Tom Peake, Owen Zarette, and Bill Lynch, thank you for your sincere commitment to the city. I'd also like to thank and welcome Liz Quigley, who represents Congressman Neal's office. The unequivocal support that Congressman Neal has lent to me personally in my political endeavors and to the city of Easthampton is irreplaceable. Thank you for attending. I am very proud to stand here and say our city is stronger than ever. The year has been defined by gains in our local economy, increased efficiency in government, through examining current practices, expanded resources, through diverse partnerships, and protection of our existing assets through strategic planning. As mayor, I made sure Easthampton is a housing choice initiative community and has opportunity zone designation. These two new programs help us explore connectivity and availability for bicycles through two key projects: the developing of a multi-use trail network throughout our city and revamping our bike auction program to broaden access to bikes and necessary education and equipment. In the past year, I've been successful in landing Easthampton millions, that's a great word to say. This has made it possible to take on significant projects that will benefit our city for generations. Many of these crucial grant dollars were awarded due to the concerted strategic efforts of our planning department, led by Jeff Bagg, who is here with us today in the back. And Jeff worked closely with his team, who I also see members of here today. Jamie Pasqualina is back there, with our city engineers and the Public Works Department. I am incredibly excited to share the details of these grants now with you. $3.51 million my goodness. It is the cannabis city, I'll just say that. I'm gonna start all over again. No, I haven't been to ENSA. Okay. $3.51 million MassWorks grant to support new mixed-use development and bring $43 million of private investment to the heart of our Mill District and Opportunity Zone. $212,000 in complete street funding to design safer thoroughfares for cyclists and pedestrians on Cottage Street and Main Streets. $225,000 for necessary equipment to join the Valley Bike Share program. $798,000 allowing us to improve outdated and inefficient infrastructure in the Admiral Street neighborhood, designated specifically to benefit low and moderate income individuals and family. $28,000 for a municipal vulnerability program design project to prepare and protect Easthampton for climate-related events. $50,000 for planning assistance grant to create a downtown strategic plan focusing on Cottage and Union Streets, as well as exploring options for the soon-to-be surplus elementary school campuses. $100,000 to demolish the Lower Mill Pond pump house that is an environmental and public safety hazard. I send out a special thank you to our building inspector, John Flagg, for working with Senator Humison and our former state rep, John Sybeck, to expedite this project. $75,000 to purchase modern equipment for our Park and Rec department, maintaining our amazing open spaces. $400,000 in a park grant to buy 11 acres of the Mount Tom View shed off of East Street in conjunction with the Kestrel and Pasquamick Land Trusts. $50,000 in community compact grants to modernize our budget process and financial policies. All of this is happening working with the city's leadership team. And in that vein, I have also consolidated day-to-day administrative operations. This has provided a streamlined interface for the public and more efficient spending of municipal dollars. For example, in my own office, I consolidated clerk responsibilities for the Planning, Licensing, and Health Board. This saves resources and provides consistency for the public record. I'd like to thank Municipal Clerk Lindsay Mailer for taking on these responsibilities. Lindsay, thank you. At this time, I'd also like to thank Tracy Collins, who I believe is downstairs preparing cake, for organizing and leading up the projects coming out of my office. Both of your help, indispensable. Thank you. I updated the city's financial policies and budget practices. The budget document now reads like an owner's manual for residents, and it provides narratives of the how, the why, the where tax dollars are spent. The new budget format shows the timeline for purchasing big-ticket items. In addition, it outlines all the types of funds that will be used to purchase them over the next 5 years. I added a forecasting model to detail what revenues and expenditures the city can expect going forward. This means that my financial decisions are well informed today and will stand up tomorrow. These extensive projects and realignments are possibly only with the help of our finance director, Melissa Zawicki, and Alan Wolf in my office. Thank you both very much. I also initiated a review of employee functions, job descriptions, and pay scale to properly align with the needs of the city. We are working to create a modern, equitable organizational structure here in City Hall. Thank you to Monica Kane, the leader in our personnel department, for undertaking this immense project. To make sure Easthampton is ready for business, I have formed a strategic relationship with our Chamber of Commerce and its amazing director and great partner in crime to me, Mo Bellevue, who is here tonight. Many chambers are struggling right now, but in 2018, our Greater Easthampton Chamber welcomed 37 new businesses as members. And I am proud of the smart and diverse growth in our local economy. New businesses are coming to Easthampton, and existing businesses are thriving in new and innovative ways. Rock Valley Tool LLC is a great example. A family-owned machining facilities, now under the ownership of Elizabeth and Jason Paquette, Rock Valley is celebrating its 60th year of operation. And in the last 5 years, Rock Valley has doubled their workforce to 34 employees and more than doubled their sales. This company is currently looking to seek to expand their workforce by developing partnerships and expanding those partnerships with Easthampton High School, Riverside Industries, and Berkshire Hill Academy. Rock Valley serves as a model for the way Easthampton does business. It reaches out to our partners and other organizations to expand their business impact, potential, and success. And going forward, I will remain steadfast in improving and protecting Easthampton's businesses and larger community, continuing to reach out, listen, and lead our city forward. I take pride in my outreach efforts over the last year, many of whom in this room have joined me in those efforts, including my mayor's update segments on our local cable access provider, Easthampton Media, which is filming this address tonight. I enjoy their creativity and the willingness of my department heads really to walk into a situation, and they never know what they're going to do in my segment. Convening stakeholder meetings on housing and economic development for our Mill District and Route 10 corridor. Spending time at the Council on Aging, playing cards, really hearing what's going on in the city, hosting coffee hours for residents to interact with me and other elected representatives. I've also attended and made a point of attending school events and games, reading as well as scooping ice cream at the Center Pepin schools and watching the Easthampton High School basketball and soccer teams play. And most importantly, I have had the opportunity and taken great pride to attending conferences literally around the world. I take great pleasure in saying that I have been to Washington, D.C., to Boston, to New York City, to Kansas City, and Israel, as well as Palestine. And I've done so to learn that we have more things in common than we have apart, and that the issues that are surrounding Gaza or Tel Aviv or Kansas City are very common to what we are looking at here in Easthampton. And it's been a great opportunity to just showcase how special Easthampton is across the world. We are strongest when we work together, building our community, our businesses, schools, and public services. We are a city that values a better life for everyone, affirming each person's existence and voice. These values built our city and shape its future, and Easthampton's future indeed looks bright. Tonight began with an example of that brightness. Clara Downey, Easthampton High School senior and 2019 Distinguished Young Woman of Greater Easthampton, opened our program. Thank you, Clara, for doing so. Also joining us this evening are members of the Easthampton High School We the People team. Our team just won back-to-back state championships in the most difficult constitutionally based questions I have ever read. I got to judge them. If you could stand up and we could acknowledge our team. In late April of this year, our Easthampton High School team will head back to our capital, Washington, D.C., to represent the entire state of Massachusetts in the We the People national competition. I would also send congratulations out to the Williston Northampton Schools team, which placed 3rd in the state. Congratulations to all of them. I also want to recognize the self-initiative and high level of civic engagement of my intern, Ruby. She is an Easthampton resident and sophomore at the Williston Northampton School. Ruby actually approached me about helping out in the office and has played several roles in the office, including I can't even say it, proofreading last year's budget and going through all 300 some odd pages of it. But more importantly, Ruby approached me with some concerns about where women stood in elective office across our country and how it felt to be in a position to make policy decisions, and proposed a forum that we are hosting together in April. I am honored to be a sponsor of what I consider it to be Ruby's event. Thank you, Ruby. We are so fortunate to have these people in our community, and I am proud of each and every one of them, whether I know them personally or not. It is these young community leaders will take us into the next generation with a set of values and beliefs and potential that we cannot imagine today. Every young person deserves the opportunity to learn and thrive like the youth that are here with us tonight. These opportunities only happen with investment in our public schools. In May 2018, the people of Easthampton made that commitment. They voted for a huge investment in our schools. This secured over $45 million in state funds for our new pre-K-8 school, led by our school building committee chair, Tom Brown, who joins us in the back of the room. Thank you, Tom. This, combined with a recently built state-of-the-art high school, ensures that every child in Easthampton will attend a new school by September of 2021. While we prepare for that new school to come, I would be remiss not to mention the new exciting leadership at our school department led by Dr. Allison LeClaire. Dr. LeClaire and I share knowing smiles at meetings, being the new women on the block in our first year of service. I'm happy to have you as a partner. Thank you. But right now, the state must do more. The state must do more. Easthampton has stepped up, which is why I signed on to the Promise Act. It will calibrate our state education funding formula in an equitable and fair manner. The current Chapter 70 education formula punishes cities like Easthampton for the size and geographic location of their schools. Our students, all of our students, deserve better and need better. They are our future, and the future must be funded now. Our future stands on the foundation built by our seniors and retirees. They too need and deserve our support. To that end, our city assessor, Lori Stewart, initiated tax relief to help seniors. The tax exemption has been increased to $1,000, and the eligible age has been lowered to 65. In addition, City Auditor Valerie Bernier, here with us tonight, has worked with the Easthampton Retirement Board to increase the funded ratio of our municipal pension fund. The goal is to have the municipal pension fully funded by 2032. This is an aggressive and bold move, and I have to thank our auditor for taking the steps to make this happen. Under new Council on Aging Director Brandon Rogers, our Council on Aging and Enrichment Center has added exciting new programming. It's implemented a data collection system that assesses needs in real time. And in conjunction with Sheriff Patrick Kaylane, who is joining us here tonight. Oh, there he is, third row. Okay, hiding from me. The council is proud to bring back the Triad program to Easthampton for the first time in 8 years. Triad works with seniors to access public services and to promote elder safety. Our fire department, led by Chief Motter, recently faced one of its most largest and challenging projects, the opening of the city's first retail cannabis dispensary. The reutilization of old mills poses complex problems. These include code enforcement and public safety, complicated by the unique challenges of the cannabis industry. The result was not only a safe operation, but a model to be used going forward in the Commonwealth. And this work was done in the face of a service call volume rivaling neighborhood cities 3 times our size. With all of this going on, 2 of our members of the fire department were honored at the Firefighter of the Year Awards. Deputy Chief Wayne Henneman, who is an executive board member of No Fires, was honored for his work with this youth program. The Northwestern District Attorney's Office, in collaboration with fire, law enforcement, mental health providers, social service agencies, provides a consistent, coordinated, and appropriate approach to helping these children and their families. Thank you, Deputy Chief, for your efforts. Here tonight with us, firefighter Sandy Kraus, hi Sandy, was honored for her work. There she is, okay. Honored for her work with Western Mass Technical Rescue Team. The team used high-angle and swift water rescue techniques to recover the remains of a 20-year-old man who fell from Bish Bash Falls. Dangerous stuff. In addition to giving closure to this young man's family, Firefighter Cross brings the rescue knowledge and techniques to our fire department on a regular basis, heightening the ability of our department. Thank you so much, Firefighter Cross. Our police department, led by Chief Alberti, saw an increase in calls for assistance while balancing the additional work related to the cannabis industry as well. To best manage this increase, the police department leadership team restructured its staff to save on overtime. They added a midnight shift release sergeant to give supervision on every shift. The police department is conducting traffic studies on most major roadways in the city, and it is also performing directed traffic patrols made possible by grant-funded equipment. The data they are collecting gives essential information about traffic flow and speed across the city. And the department shares this information on its social media pages in order to keep residents and visitors informed. This year, Chief Alberti and I introduced an ordinance to create the Community Relations Committee. This grew out of an effort to directly address divisions, deep divisions in our city. And I want to thank the U.S. Department of Justice Community Relations Service team for leading us in this effort. I also want to thank City Council for codifying our city's commitment to a healthy, proactive, community-building conversations. Thank you. To demonstrate that long-term commitment to community work that we all hold, Chief Alberti has also appointed liaison officers in addition to a school resource officer. We now have liaisons for the Veterans and Elder Affair communities, diversity and bias, domestic violence, and witness protection. Sergeant Dennis Scribner, with us here tonight, has been tasked as the Community Service Sergeant, overseeing all of these liaison officers. He also directly supports the Community Relations Committee. And of course, our most popular member of the force, K-9 Gino, with his partner, Andrew Bellevue, assist in all of these community efforts. In the face of a public health addiction crisis, the city is working closely with Hampshire Hope, and we are assigning police and fire officers to battle the scourge that opioid and substance abuse have brought to our city, our region, our state, and our country. In the support of this important work, I have signed on to a class action lawsuit with hundreds of communities across the nation. We intend to hold the massive corporations who manufacture and distribute these prescription medications that lead to addiction of many other substances accountable. The settlement from this legal action brings dollars directly back to Easthampton for support and education. On the front lines of receiving many of these related calls, Dispatch Supervisor Brenda Therian, with us tonight, very capably, and this is another big number, handled 13,000 calls in the past year. And Brenda, in the face of such volume, has raised the standards for her team and has instituted a rigorous professional development program so everyone who calls to our dispatch center is given the due care and support that they expect and they deserve. Thank you, Brenda. Also leading one of our important departments in a new direction is Bree Eisenstadt, our new public health agent. She brings a fresh approach to the health needs of our city, and to date has conducted 128 housing inspections, 97 food inspections, 5 body art inspections, 2 tanning inspections, and 29 nuisance investigation inspections. This is a tremendous effort and still does not address the growing needs of our city. Bree is working hard to put as much information as possible on the department's website, including application forms and information for those who need to access the Department of Health. I look forward to working with Bree, as she said on the mayor's update, to expanding and supporting Easthampton's public health needs going forward. Our Department of Public Works, led by Joe Papczynski, provides the essential services of water, sewer, wastewater, and highway maintenance. Everyone expects these services, but we seldom stop to appreciate them. With diminishing state and federal funding and increasing federal mandates, our DPW team navigates a complex set of issues. I cannot thank them enough for educating me about these essential services. It has helped me to prioritize my grant applications to support their great work. Our Parks and Rec department is led by John Mason with us here tonight, and he is supported by a very active board and an absolutely fabulous staff. He does a great job of partnering with local businesses and community groups to upgrade facilities. They also provide free activities, sponsor community events, and support outside events. The department's efforts are seen throughout Easthampton. You may have noticed them when you look at the benches and bleachers throughout Nonotuck Park that have been replaced. This was done with the help of the Easthampton Little League, and I also want to thank the Community Preservation Committee for providing the funding. A particular point of the department's pride is the outstanding and affordable summer camp program that they provide for the youngest members of our community. They have sponsored 9 concerts, 3 movie nights, the Rag Shag Parade, Harvest Fest, and of course, our very own Jubilation. It's one of my favorites. In addition, John and his crew supported outside events and concerts such as the 50th anniversary of Riverside Industries and the very popular Mill Pond Live concert series. A hallmark of Easthampton, our arts and culture community continues to thrive. Easthampton City Art Plus coordinator Pasqualina Urzello consistently organizes inspiring events, exhibits, and initiatives that highlight and support local artists and makers. The Vibrant Cultural District Subcommittee continues to reimagine how art can enrich our city. ECA Plus's new website captures this dynamic creative economy. Stunning exhibits at the Map Gallery, Old City Hall, the Youth Art Initiative, and of course Cultural Chaos have had a clear economic and creative impact. They not only attract visitors, they attract businesses like Wedgeworks and Local. I am proud to support these efforts by funding the arts coordinator position in the annual budget rather than rely on grant funding. In the next exciting step towards Easthampton's own performing arts center, I negotiated a long-term lease with the visionary City Space Board of Directors. This opens needed finance tools for the full renovation of Old Town Hall's second floor space as a true capstone of our cultural community. Easthampton's restaurant scene is also more vibrant than ever, and this is exemplified by Kasara, a truly phenomenal Japanese restaurant on Cottage Street. Before they opened, the "Coming Soon" sign in their window was seen by thousands during cultural chaos, which helped build excitement and kickstart their success. This is just one example of how Easthampton's unique mix of culture, art, and economic opportunity helps the city thrive. Kasara's co-owners, Lewis and Mitchell, specifically chose Easthampton to start their business. Illustrating their commitment to excellent food and to Easthampton, Lewis drives to Boston personally to select each cut of fish they serve at Kasara. He said Easthampton's openness and opportunity make the long drive worth it. Even before opening the restaurant, Lewis would come to the Manhattan Cafe on Cottage Street to see what was happening in the city and was always greeted with a good cup of coffee and a friendly face. That leads me to, if Kasara's top-notch staff look familiar, that's because Patty and Jessica are the daughters of Doug, the owner of the cafe, who worked at the cafe for many years, but stayed on with Lewis and Mitchell. And we are lucky to have such an all-around talented and experienced restaurant team. Already, they have earned 2 Best of awards, and I understand why. I love their food, and I love that I can enjoy it right here in Easthampton. Civic pride, it runs deep in Easthampton, and I will continue to cultivate this pride by always working to increase inclusiveness, equity, and accessibility. Hate has no place in Easthampton. Unfortunately, it still resides in the shadow of our city, in the corners where there is no light. And shining a light on it, having conversations, working together allows us to build common ground and to guard each other with common respect and a common humanity we all deserve. This will make Easthampton better for all. And it will come through heart-wrenching, soul-searching conversations that will be extremely uncomfortable but needed. And I reach out to you and encourage you to reach out to those living and working next to you. Let's stand together. Let's talk to each other and face challenges, both known and unexpected. I am humbled and blessed to be your mayor and vow to carry on the good work of this year forward. Building on this year, my priorities are going forward are to secure the highest bond rating possible for our upcoming school project. Craft a city communications plan that keeps residents informed about ongoing projects and current events in the city. Deliver quarterly reports to the City Council on the state of our city throughout the year. Conduct ongoing stakeholder meetings with regional, state, and federal agencies regarding housing, public service, and infrastructure. Host quarterly mayoral coffee hours at City Hall, and pursue specific grants to build additional accessible trails, a second round of funding to protect our natural resources, to add additional firefighters, and for technical assistance to remove impediments to development. 1 year ago, you gave me the honor of serving as mayor of this great city. And at my swearing in, I promised to stand and work on Easthampton's long-standing strengths, especially our hardworking families and entrepreneurial spirit. We share a collective commitment to leave our city a better place for generations to come. I am humble and I am grateful for the faith the city has put in me. My vision of leadership includes a broader way of governing, thinking, listening, and doing business. I said Easthampton deserves a mayor who cultivates progress and thinks creatively to solve existing challenges. And it is my privilege to work every day to be that mayor. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And I'm going to ask Ruby to come up to the podium to close our program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming. My name is Ruby McElhone-Yates. Just a reminder, the State of the City address will be available to view on Easthampton Media, and you are all welcome and encouraged to join us on the first floor for refreshments. Thank you.